Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Silver Soldier player. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help me out quite a bit. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what my rates look like, see what sort of
Don't
upcoming
be so
events we have
sure
going
about that.
on, like the internal scrims that are currently being scheduled. Yeah, so here we are, we've got our soldier. Oof, missed the jump, but you've still got plenty of time.
5, 4, 3,
Don't early pick.
2.
Like, yes, they probably saw you, but you don't need to open standing right here. You don't know if this up here is going to be a Widowmaker, Hanzo. You don't know what's going to come out. So you're better off, even though this is a good strong angle, you are better off waiting behind cover rather than standing here trying to get the opening helix. A
1.
Widow can take you down faster than you can take her down at this range.
Attackers incoming. Defend
So can a
objective
Hanzo.
A.
So happened to not be a headshot. That didn't have to be the case. That could have been a body shot and then storm arrow and finish you. That could have been a headshot. Lots of things could have gone wrong here. You're better off waiting with that angle closed until they come out a little bit. Your team tells you whether there's a widow or not. All those things. I played I never seriously played chess, Joshua. Like I played a little bit as a kid, but okay. So this is fine. You don't want to be separated with that widow there. Or she could hit you anyways.
This will heal you.
Oh boy. Scary. Don't challenge it. Just leave. This isn't where your tank should be. Just leave. Okay? Play back here. We don't want you getting launched forward by their Junkrat again. That's happened a couple times, and it's just luck that the Widow's not getting it. Luck / silver aim, but take your pick. Don't step forward here. Don't do this. I know that you were thinking, oh, I want to contribute my heal station. That's not even what you wanted to do. What you wanted to do when you were back here is go, nope, I'm going to circle back here, and I'm going to take shots at the back line. This is what you wanted to do. You have sprint. Way better for you to go back here now that these guys have pushed up and taken this space, because you very quickly take this space, than it is to go, oh, I'm going to go donate my heal station to my front line. That's really not what it's for. Like, you can get some value out of it like that, but it's better for you to sustain over here, to have your heal station while you're taking out the Junkrat. You get the initial hit on the Junkrat, but then he's paying attention to you. Maybe he has some support help, so you might want your heal station. That's better. Trust me. Careful. This is so dangerous. This is the natural Widow transition spot. They play from here, and they transition to here as their team takes space. She can see you. If you're here, that's much harder for her. You can still be doing a lot of work into their back line, make them very uncomfortable, pick up eliminations, or if their front line was still fighting here, their back line turns to fight you, and then your front line takes out their front line. This is what you wanted to be playing from. You've been Widow bait this whole game.
My ultimate is charged.
Yeah. You're not respecting the Widow, you're not playing angles. Yeah, it makes me sad. This was very
Knock
winnable.
me down and I'll keep getting back up.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Why'd you go this way? That's scary, but like, this is what we cared about taking away from them. This could have just as easily been a, hey, there's a Widow here who instantly takes a shot at you. This, yes, actually does have the Widow at it, but is the space that you care about a bit more. Because if you get to here, you can potentially challenge the Widow if she's holding that window. If you go here and the Widow's holding the window, and you don't insta-get deleted, you still can't beat her. The range isn't good enough. You had to win this if you were going to win anything, but whatever.
Powered up.
The power of destruction.
Widow's going to deepen the angle because you're not contesting it. And Widow's going to take out your team. I'm glad that you got Junkrat. But Widow not just wiping out your team right now, not completely rolling over your team before you take down that Junkrat is just a silver thing. She's doing the correct thing. This is exactly what I would coach her to do, where she got control of this because that was the more important angle, which you didn't contest at all. You didn't go, hey, Mercy, help me challenge this, anything like this. And now she's going to mow your team down from behind while her team pushes here. This is checkmate. Even though you guys are up one, this is checkmate.
Heroes never die. Personne n'échappe à mon regard. Helden sterben nicht.
Okay, you're not going to take down the Mercy. Either commit to the tack visor to take down the Mercy or give up and shoot at other things.
Anyone need some cold refreshment?
The Junkrat wasn't that scary to you. You had room to dodge there, but this way you stop the card at least. I mean, this is sort of deciding that the fight is over here. You're fighting in the middle of the enemy team as soldier.
Anyone need some cold refreshment?
Okay. Now sprint over here. Or sprint back up here.
Powered up.
Fine. Now sprint. Sprints. Why are you playing this far back? Playing this far back, she has the option of re-peeking and immediately deleting you because the cover doesn't work for you anymore. Like, you wanted to play closer to this so that she couldn't shoot over it at you, or you wanted to go take a flank.
You should be at peak performance levels.
Okay. So, when I say take this flank, that doesn't mean that you go show yourself right away. It means that you're set up here and you're ready to threaten so that when they push into your team, you just go, I open the angle and I wipe you guys out from the flank. Or, once they're here, they all turn to deal with you and your team pushes into their flank. If you fight them here, if you open this angle early, of course they're going to fight you and you have high ground advantage, but there's like 4 or 5 of them, whereas your team is over here not helping except for your Mercy. Timing matters on these flanks. But it's totally okay to just wait right where Moira is. Wait right here. Literally just wait right here. Nope, they're too far away, and you can see they're too far away. You already have tack visor. Just close the angle. Close the angle. You can see your teammates are over there. Other than the Pharah, they're not threatening yet. You don't want this. You don't. If your team pushes up to here, you can drop and transition up to here and do work. That's fine. But if your team is going to play here and is not advancing, you don't open the angle yet.
You should be at peak performance level.
No trap. We heard him drop the trap. We see the Junkrat. The Junkrat just hit us with a nade. We know where he's playing from. We leave. We actually saw the edge of the trap. We see the trap again, and I have his vision right now. I don't have map vision right now. I have his vision, so that trap is partially sunk, but we still see it. We also still know that the Junkrat hit us from the right. We can see it again. The trap and the mine. We've heard it. We've seen it twice. We know where the Junkrat hit us from. Yeah.
I'm not a young man anymore.
One more time. Uh, one, two, three, four, five. 5 opponents. 6 opponents. You and a 50 to 60 health Pharah. I don't think you want this fight. Good.
Let's get you back out there.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Take a lane. I don't know what Pharah's up to, but okay. Must just not have good booster control. Don't be here. Don't be here. Junkrat's got the idea, but he's early.
Come here and get refreshed.
Orisa controls this lane, you control this lane. If it gets deeper, Orisa controls this lane, you control this lane. Junkrat had the right idea, he just was in here too early. You should have already been in here. You just don't go here, you go here, and when your team's ready to push, you open the angle. If you run into the Junkrat, you call for help, and then you and your Orisa beat the Junkrat, and that's fine. But Junkrat established it early, and you guys didn't punish. Oh well.
For your safety, please move behind the barrier.
I can safely say from my time in quick play in Silver that the large minority never look at the lower half of their screen. Or rather, a minority do. Sometimes the traps just don't show up. Sometimes they show up a lot more than they should. Okay.
Heroes never die.
Okay. Are you going to take the right lane for me? Are you going to go up over here and then play this angle? Or are you going to go up over here and break the trap and then take this angle? What are you going to do?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. I think by the time you get there, your team's not going to need this angle anymore, but I still appreciate it.
I'm under attack.
Yeah, so your team has taken the space to make this angle the better angle, but Junkrat has it right now.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Why did you heal station? Were you missing 2 health?
I'm under attack. Allow me to repair the
No, you're at full health and you're heal stationing. This is pretty important. Your heal station sort of roots you, as in this is where you have to take the fight from now. So now you can't transition and take the fight from this angle if you wanted it. I don't like this. It's way early, and you know it's way early. You don't need the Reinhardt. You can shoot at people behind him. Almost. Re-peek it. Fine. You didn't actually have to run to point yet. You probably were better off either trying to beat this or trying to juke this up to here, popping your visor and doing it from here. Like the Zarya's coming up, so you pop sprint, run over to here, and then you pop visor and try to do what you can while your Mercy was doing the best that she could to stall cart, but oh well. It's a minor nitpick.
dead yet.
Helden sterben nicht.
Transition. Transition. Good.
Name's McCree.
Touch from afar.
For your safety, please move behind the barrier.
You're fighting Widow at her effective range, not yours. Like, again, now this is about the high ground you wanted to be on, but there was a serious window where when the opposing team is here and starting to push here, this is sort of where you want it to be. Some of it depends on where your team sets up, though.
Thanks, Doc.
Heroes never die.
No helix into the halt? Late helix into the halt. Fine.
What we want to witness.
The war goes on.
Okay. Taking a really long time to decide who to shoot at there. And you knew that Rhine wasn't gone either. You looked away when he had the bubble, which was fine, but you took forever to decide who to shoot at, and then you never bothered to look back.
Please move behind the barrier.
Surrender.
I'm not a young man.
60 seconds remaining.
It's Hanu.
Okay. So you have a rudimentary understanding of angles, but you sort of take the wrong ones. Like, this was the more important one, and you just completely ignored it. You're like, nope, doesn't matter, etc. You instead went for this one when this was the more important one, which is disappointing. Then you'd go here, but your timing would be terrible. You'd peek, and it would be you or you and Farah versus the world. You want to peek these angles because you're kind of alone on these angles, and you're supposed to be when your team is threatening. So the ways to do that are to wait until the opposing team pushes to here, and your team is threatening from this corner, and then they're fighting, and you peek maybe a second into it, or you go, hey, my team is pushing forward, and my team pushes and fights them here, and now maybe I do this because, hey, at least it's high ground, that's a bit of a different angle, or maybe I decide to transition up and fight this angle. Those are the how and the timing to this. With this would have just been better. You'd have probably needed to call for help to challenge it, but this would have been better because A, it's the better angle at the time that we were talking about, but B, you taking it, you need to win it, even though, oh, Widow's scary, I don't want to fight the Widow. You need this. You need this, and you need this so that you can potentially take this, so that you can deny Widow from having this, because denying Widow from having stuff is as important as you taking it. Now, that doesn't mean that you just challenge Widows, but in this case, yes, it probably was that. We don't generally want you challenging Widows. Here, you know, or maybe have been told or have figured out that this is useful positioning, and I appreciate that, but you need to understand when it's useful positioning versus when you take this. Junkrat just got this for free every time, and it's an angle that you really would have liked to have, at multiple times. When they're pushing through here, this is a really powerful angle. When they're pushing here, this is your angle. So when they were on the early part of this point, you were still playing here, you'd be here, your team would be here, and you'd see the Widow set up here, and it's like, you don't want to fight Widow in this long sight line. You don't even really want this. A little bit of high ground is nice when your team's in front of you down here, but even better is you get control of this and win here. And even if you can't get control of this because you're fighting a Junkrat or whatever, you still want to fight the Junkrat or whatever, and if you can get your team helps, great, so that you deny their Junkrat from going, well, your team is here, fighting their team, which is here. You don't want their Junkrat to just come over here and lob nades into the side of your team. You want to deny that, and then if you win hard enough, you want to be shooting bullets into the side of the opposing team. You see how that works? Like, it's about getting the angle yourself because you can do good stuff with it, but it's also about denying the opponents, the Widow, the Junkrat, who have a better than silver understanding of flanks and lanes, quite frankly, from being able to do the same thing. Like you're battling over control of these flanks because whichever team's DPS wins can do very good stuff to affect the outcome of the fight. And you were taking off angles, you were taking second lanes, and I appreciate that, but you were regularly taking the weaker of the two second lane options.
Initiating match.
Oh, good to have you here, Egg Butler.
Ready for
You can
battle.
get your notifications in the Discord. I know you said you weren't attached enough to Discord to do that, but I think YouTube is like 10 to 15 minutes late on sending out notifications, even if you're subscribed. So definitely be subscribed and hit the notification button on YouTube if you want them. But I think notifications go out after a stream has started or a video has been uploaded for 15 minutes. It's something silly like that. So if you want the right away ones, they're on Discord. I can't make YouTube's go faster.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay.
Defend objective A.
You have sprint. You could almost, by the time your Reinhardt gets to the choke, you could be up here. And then you could go, hey, I shoot at this. Or you could go, hey, I shoot at this. And if they're getting shot from the side, you could immediately contest their Hanzo, who's probably not looking at you. And if the Hanzo gets contested, then you could shoot at these guys. And these guys aren't going to hold here anymore. They're not going to hold this choke anymore if they're getting shot in the side when they hold this choke. They're going to back up so that you don't have a different angle than your team. They're going to go back to here. And then your Reinhardt and Zarya get through the choke easily, and they get to take statue.
That's better.
Okay. Usually when you're shooting at a faraway target like that, you lead with the Helix actually, because the Helix is a projectile that has travel time, and if they're not looking at you, you want to lead with the Helix to have that already on the way before you start shooting. When you're finishing a target off, you generally try to finish with Helix, but when it's when it's a target that's not looking at you, you generally want to lead with Helix because you're gonna hit it. See, she was able to avoid that because she knew it was coming. You'd given her so much warning. You don't need to transition up here yet. Are you going to turn and look at the Ana? Okay. Yeah, I don't really like this. I'm not convinced that you can close this angle hard enough on the Hanzo. I actually liked you here more. I didn't mind you checking to see if there was an Ana to finish here, but I liked you here more where you had the ability to go, I'm going to threaten you guys. You go, I threaten the Hanzo, and then I retreat. Like, yeah. Glad you're enjoying it, Game Buster. Good.
Find their weakness and
Go take the other lane. You're done. McCree understands. Oh boy. You are not going to round a corner onto a McCree, are you? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You so deserve this. You so deserved that. So first you walked through here while a Hanzo is shooting at you, and you know McCree's down this angle, so you're walking where the opponents have 90 degrees angles with poke DPS to shoot at you, and you fortunately don't get hit by the Hanzo. Then you run into here. Of course he's going to camp the corner. That's the only way he beats you. His two options were to go get the Mega and then circle up here to try and shoot at your team, or to wait the corner and try to flash you. Your job was not to force your way through this super risk to go get him and then face the other risk of the corner flash. Your job was to go, hey, maybe I'll go here and see if I can go get the high ground and do this, and if I run into him on the way, so be it. But going through here or here was less predictable than going through here. He was waiting for this. He was likely to be waiting for this. Uh, whatever. I agree, Blah. YouTube does need some coaching.
Ensure the payload's progress.
Not dead yet.
Discord will do.
My ultimate is almost ready.
My ultimate is almost
Power of destruction.
Don't you dare. Why are you running like this to get here? Again, you could have forced your way through the lane like this, much better, and then been playing from here. This, whatever.
My ultimate is ready. Join.
Good. Quietly, quietly. No, if they're not looking at you, you start with your Helix rocket. Why are we heal stationing? So this isn't the first heal station we've dropped at full health, and it doesn't really cover where we're going to want it to anyways. We want it to cover more of this area right here, because this is where we're likely to play from. This is not a good heal station.
Heroes never die.
Can we trade hit scan? I want McCree instead. I'm kidding, but yeah. Yeah. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at how he did this. Here he is. Here's the McCree that you never finished off.
Just what the doctor ordered.
This is right after he got the fan elimination.
Thank you.
He's waiting to make sure no one else is going to get him. He's not giving himself away here. He's not going, oh, I want to challenge the 5 of you. He's going, I can't do anything to this. I'm going to let my team be a distraction. Mercy's aware of him, but he doesn't care. Moira Orb's annoying.
Ready. Get in there, and
He's
I'll
waiting. He's waiting until his team is a distraction. He can see his team through, and he can see, hey, they're sort of holding that corner beyond a bookstore. Fine. He can still see his team. He can't see the opponents. He can't see blue, but he can see red. Didn't take too much damage from the Moira Orb. His team is backing off. His team might betray him and not give him a chance to do this. Maybe he's telling them on comms, hold the corner, hold the corner.
My ultimate's ready.
Okay, Ryan just dropped his shield, but did a back op. There's a fire strike. Remember, that's the only info he has. He doesn't see the blue. Ooh, his Hanzo went down. That's bad news. Ryan just charged. Ryan just charged, and that's his go sign. Ryan just charged, and he just heard a grab went out. This fight is happening. This is real. You guys see how he did that? You guys see the information cues that he used to get this timing right? And then he goes for this high noon, and even if this shatter hadn't hit, he's already got 3 eliminations, and he could pull this, and no one would have turned and dealt with him in time. Excuse me, he's already got 4 eliminations, even if that shatter hadn't hit. This was all timing, and he did it just, even without comms, he had enough information, and he was looking in the right directions to see what was going on.
Draw.
Spasiba.
Oh, gee.
That'll be a play of the game that actually deserves to be play of the game. But since someone asked in the last video, how do you use High Noon? That is how you use High Noon. It doesn't have to be that good. He didn't need the quintuple. The 3, or actually he got 4 immediately, and he got 4 with 1.5 seconds there. So no one was going to take him down in that 1.5 seconds. He was high, he was behind. He hadn't given himself up early, and he waited until he saw the commit signals from his team that meant that red was going to be distracted.
Not dead yet. It's almost ready.
My ultimate is charged.
Oh, am I too mellow today, Temporal? Temporal. I'm Temporal. Am I too mellow today, Blah? I'm good. I'm good. But I'm a human being. I have a range of emotions. Soldier could have done a very similar thing. If the map was flipped, Soldier could have come up here. Soldier could have, Soldier wouldn't have got the flash elimination we talked about earlier here. But Soldier could have done a very similar thing where he goes up here, he waits, he sees that charge signal, and then he drops the heal station and visors, and he wouldn't pick them up quite as quickly, but he'd have still probably picked up 3 quick eliminations. Soldier could have done a very similar thing with very similar timing.
Biotic field activated.
Enemy C.
Take your angles. Take your angles. Fine. Good.
Do that out there.
And now you have an angle. Now go get a better one. So this was a fine angle for this part of the point, but now they're going to be coming in from this part of the point, so you have to change your angle, and now you want to either be over here or up here. These are both better. You don't want to be over here anymore. It's not as strong. The portion of the point you're on and where you expect the fight to happen changes which lane, which off angle you want. Don't be here. Don't be here. Go get a better one. You have plenty of time. Go get a better one. Are you going to rocket jump up? This would have been okay. This is what I thought you were going for, and this would have been better, as would this.
Healing.
It's so sad. It's so sad. You just here laterally in front of them. Why would you do this? It's so boring. It doesn't create off-angle pressure. Rein Shield gets to block you and Zarya and Hanzo all at the same time, and even Moira. One Rein Shield blocks all of you. If you're up here, you threaten shooting over the Rein Shield at the Junkrat back there. If you're over here, maybe there's a Rein Shield now, but if Rein advances at all to be able to swing, you can hit him before he's in swing range. If he shields you, then your Zarya can swing over here and zap him. So we want bigger, meaningful off angles. And again, you being over here wouldn't have helped. You being up here helps a little bit, but not as good as being over here, or even being right here, where we've got good cover options.
Healing stream engaged.
Anyone needs some cold refreshment?
Enemy C. This is my will.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Butler. I'm not sure I gave quite enough context to turn that into a little mini guide for McCree when we walk through that one, but I might grab it and combine it with another video's High Noon explanation to make a little 5-minute guide. Why did he run into grab? I don't remember. We can rewind and check. I was too... Oh yeah, that's a good question. You're just brute forcing this so hard. Your angle is no good. He ran into the grav so he could drop his heal station in the grav because he still thinks that his heal station is for healing up the group. That is an okay secondary use of it, but it is not your primary use. Your primary use of heal station is to sustain on the angle, which, look, your Hanzo and your Zarya are on angles because they understand that angles are good. Your Reinhardt was actually taking this by himself intentionally. Good Reinhardts know that, hey, someone is going to get grabbed. If I don't have a D.Va to eat it, someone is going to get grabbed. I'd rather get grabbed by myself and make sure you don't get any backliners, and my supports will do what they can to keep me up. And even if I go down, so be it. I'm a pain to take down by myself in a grav. You running in here actually made this a better grav. This wasn't good. I know you think, oh, I'm in here to help with my heal station. No, you going in this is bad. It's a mistake. Your Reinhardt very intentionally, maybe not very intentionally, but better Reinhardts will intentionally take solo grabs like this.
Anyone needs some cold refreshment?
Enemy C.
Junkrat never would have had you if you were up here.
I am determined.
You also would have won this fight a lot faster. Okay, take your right lane. Take your right lane.
I'm on fire.
Okay. I don't know about this. Leave. Leave. Gotta have awareness. Even though you're winning the fight and you're looking for staggers, your team hasn't pushed this hard. Your team was with you this deep, reaching a little bit for the res maybe. You have to be aware that your team didn't push this deep. This is no longer you looking for staggers. This is you taking effectively a 1v4. You are giving them back staggers. I mean, it's cool that you got it, but you were more likely to go down. Control the right lane. Control the right lane. So it's just because we've been talking about lanes this match, you're not yet ready to take this lane. Your team isn't deep enough, but you are ready to take this lane. This is the right lane. If they'd stopped you here, if they'd set up here for a corner hold, this would have been the lane you played for. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why do you think this is okay? You're the only one they can see. All of their eyeballs are going to be on you. They are going to shoot at you. And you're shooting at a bubbled Reinhardt? No. This is not how you use this time. You use this time to take your lane. If you want to be super aggressive, you could use your time to take this lane. You could go, hey, I'm going to take a bit of a risk. I'm going to go take this lane and try to take this angle. That I could live with. But this would be your default lane right now. Not this. Not this. So much damage follow-up you could have if you were in the right lane. If you were here, that Reinhardt would have to pick whether he was going to block the Zarya and the Hanzo from shooting at the people behind him who were flattened, or whether he was going to block you from picking up 3 limbs during the shatter. He got to do both. Why is my soldier in the front line? Why? Why are you in the front line? Why have you been in front of your team for the entire third point, and since the end of second, why have you been part of the front line?
No rest for the weary. Enemy is back in the...
Okay, Gambuster, thanks for the feedback.
I have found the enemy. Come and face me.
Fire at will.
Dragon consume you!
We're still just trying to run it up mid. Oof. It's gonna work eventually, but... Nope, maybe not. Okay, so
No rest for
you
the
haven't
weary.
used your tack visor that you've had for a bit, for quite a while now, and that's because you're not getting good angles. You're not feeling like there's a good time to use it. If you take good angles, you will find good times to use tack visor.
I need
You
some
see?
shield.
Oh, you saw him. Nice. Unfortunate. This is where you clear him from. Which works, because he gets eliminated or he drops, and then your team can clear him. And then you have a lane that works for you.
Not yet. Heroes never die.
Go get the high ground. Go get the high ground. Just transition across immediately. Use your sprint and go, I am going here. Then you're going to sprint further, and then you're going to visor from here while your team is here. Your team is going to press with the Valk. You're going to visor from here. It's going to be beautiful. That was an acceptable heal station. Please don't run it up mid. Please don't run it up mid. Of course, there is a heal station on point.
Round 2.
For the future,
Complete.
you're not the one who pushes the point in. You stay back here, and you go, you're going to pick between eliminating me. I'm not on the point, but I do a ton of damage, and I can see this side of the point, this side of the point, above the point, and in front of the point. I can't see behind the point, but I can see all the way from here to here, all the way like this, and I can shoot most of the points that you could contest the point from. I just can't see right behind the point. I have a tank or two on the point. I'm right here. Here's my soldier standing right where I'm standing. Okay, fine. Maybe down like here. This is good. This is roughly where we want to be. Yes, I am saying right in the middle of this lane here. Now, we don't actually have to be standing right in the middle like this. We can be playing this angle. That's fine. And then open a little bit more if we have to. Or we can be playing here and then open it more extreme if we have to. I don't care. But you want to create this situation where the opponents go, hey, if I want to stop this soldier that is just puking out damage uncontested on the point, I have to go back here, which means I'm not contesting the point. If I want to stop the point, I have to go to the point, and then the soldier can see me unless I hide right here, but then I can't avoid the tanks on the point at all because I have to hide right here, which means the Zarya or the Reinhardt or whatever that are on the point can go, okay, well, you can't run from me at all because you have to stand right here. No problem, I'll swing into you, and my healers who are back here where the soldier are going to keep me up. Great, no problem. Okay, in this case, Moira might be a little more on point, and Mercy probably will be back here boosting you, but fine. You understand how that works. If you're on the point with your tanks, these guys can like run in circles around the point, do this stuff, etc. Go, oh no, I'm gonna kite all of you, and I'm gonna run, and you're gonna all end up together as you're chasing me, and I can survive for longer, and I can go to the point, and while I'm on the point, I have chances of getting eliminations on you guys. That's not what you want. You do way more for your team by playing back here-ish or back here-ish when your team is trying to finish the point like this. Okay, so you need to understand what lane to control when, the peak timing from those lanes, and you need better heal station use. Those are all high on my list for you right now. Holding Q holding on to Q for Overwatch 2. I know. Thank you, Blah. Thank you. That would help you get through it faster. Yes, I do have a video on in those overtime or those last point contests, the good order to prioritize removing targets, to prioritize taking them down to finish maps faster.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
They might be. We can't hear their comms. You, as soldier, can get to these lanes super fast. You have sprint. You do this, and their Reinhardt would back up immediately. You'd have the ability to make their Mercy immediately get closer to a team. If the Mercy is closer to a team, your Reinhardt might end up being able to swing into it. It's a nice chain reaction of events. Okay, please swing right of statue. Right of statue. Good. I mean, this is okay, but yeah, like It's okay to go here, but you were kind of slow to go here. Just going here would have accomplished almost everything you needed it to much more quickly.
30 seconds remaining.
Ominous portent.
If the target isn't aware that we're there, we start with Helix. And you hit them directly with the Helix. You don't do the foot thing. The foot thing is in case you miss, you want to get the splash damage on them. You're not going to miss when they're not looking at you. Be nice if we had heal station.
10 seconds remaining.
Stay here. Stay here. Please stay here. Do not. Don't you dare. Don't you. Remember what we were talking about on third point, how you make them decide between going after you, who is just puking damage onto the objective, versus going to the objective? Still applies here, and it gives you the better transition to controlling this, or controlling this, once your team gets to here. No, Game Buster, I did not. I've been calling it sprint, but you're right. Super legs is my preferred name for it. So again, this Hanzo is able to just spam point, and he's able to throw his dragon at point. That is a much harder decision if there was a lot of damage coming in from a scary angle up here. He's a lot more interested in, oh, maybe I need to spend shots, maybe I need to keep you honest, maybe I won't spend my dragon, but maybe I spend shots, maybe I spend my sonic arrow up here, maybe I spend rapid fire. I'm totally blank. Storm arrow up on you, and you just go, yeah, I'm lasting. I have my heal station. I have the high ground over you, so I have easier headshots than you. I wait out a cut line of sight, but you're still sort of paying attention to me even when I break line of sight for a couple seconds. Then I peek again, do some work. Like, you're distracting a lot more as opposed to this, where he can just be like, I'm just gonna throw logs down main. I'm gonna throw logs down main, and I'll hit something. I'm not saying he's not aiming. He is probably aiming. I haven't checked, but you're making it easy. Even if he misses the person he's trying to hit and hits you instead, or he's trying to hit you and he hits Zarya instead, he's getting value. If he's here, he has to split his attention, and that's way better for your team. Or you could have gone, hey, I'm going to go over here, and maybe I'm going to drop and try to pick up 2-3 quick eliminations. Or I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to try to quickly eliminate the Hanzo or the Mercy. Now, I probably wouldn't have done that. I'd have probably said play here based on where your team is, but this still does your team a lot more good than you trying to force it down mid does. Yeah, so you're going to get stopped here, and you are much less likely to get stopped here if you had just not dropped from here, and when your team got to that hard choke to break, assisted them in breaking it by being here. That's all you had to do.
Ready for battle.
Super legs!
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? What? Hanzo, Widow, Ashe, snipers are scary? Don't be here. Don't you dare be here.
Hello.
This is not where you hold this point. Ugh. Yeah, Zarya's correct. Zarya's correct. If Reinhardt wants to be up here just for a Fire Strike, and Hanzo just wants a Sonic Arrow, that's fine. You guys should not be here.
60 seconds remaining.
Get into position.
Pew pew pew, pew pew pew. Snipers can't hit me. Pew pew pew. And now you've rooted yourself to this positioning that is not very good. I mean, your movement was just D tier. Forward, back, forward, right, left, forward, back. You're just walking forward and back, man. You dodged one thing, but everything else is, other than that, was forward and back. But your primary threats are here, and you moving forward and back doesn't change very much against them. They're shooting in this direction. If your primary threats are coming from this direction, your strafe pattern is more of a left to right. You know, it might be left pause, it might be left pause, right pause. You can go left pause, left, right, 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 right. It can be left, right, left, right. That's a bad strafe pattern, but it could be left. It could be left, stay still, left. Like you can do that, but your movement should be against the direction that is looking at you, because that changes your profile more as opposed to this forward back nonsense. That changes your profile a little bit against the Zarya, but the Zarya's kind of distracted doing other things. That's not your pattern. That said, I don't really want that. What I wanted you to do was be over here and just kind of go, yep, I'm going to melt stuff from here. That was way better.
I will rebuild you.
No, the strafe pattern is not the Rhine dance. I'm just struggling to illustrate the strafe pattern now. It's similar, but... Reinhardts tend to do a more direct left and right, and that's a pretty bad strafe pattern. A better strafe pattern involves some pauses, involves some, nope, I'm going to stay still for a moment, involves some left, keep going left, right, left, right, you know, like it's a little more varied. He's actually doing a better strafe pattern right now. Well, not anymore.
10 seconds remaining. Objective lost.
There wasn't anything he was strafing, but he was doing a better strafe pattern. Wait, 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 wait. Cart gets to here. Ryan is enforcing this corner. Team starts to push into fight. Open angle, shoot backline.
Payload is approaching its destination.
Fundamental misunderstanding of heal station. This is a secondary use of heal station when it just so happens to be, oh, we can use it this way. Primary use of heal station, hold our off angle. Hold our off angle. Really? You're gonna push the Hanzo with no cooldowns? Yeah. That's what I thought. Bye-bye card. Okay. So, fundamentals. You are soldier. You have super legs. Super legs are taking different angles, and the angle that you take depends on where you expect the team fight to happen. I can't 100% define it for you for every map, but I have given you a very, very good understanding of at what point you should be taking what angles in both directions on King's Row. The principles that I'm using, you should be able to sort of see, and you should be able to mostly get right on other maps if you think about it with this context of, hey, I want to fight in a place where my team is battling with their team, and it's going to be a little hard for them to deal with me. So I could be standing right here when my team is right here and fighting. And I wouldn't peek early. I wouldn't peek early in 1v5. I'd wait, and then I'd go fight once they're actually past me and are stuck fighting my team. We talked about here. If the opposing team is holding something like here, this becomes a good lane. If the opposing team is pushing here and you were on defense and your team was here, this could work as a good lane. If the opposing team has rounded this corner, this becomes your lane. We can do it the other direction. We did it on first, we did it on second, we did it on third. We talked about how to use hotel. Like, that's all stuff I want you to understand. Getting the timing of when to peek and which lane to use right will absolutely level up your game. So spend 30 games trying to work on it, and maybe even pull up the maps and go through custom games and just be like, okay, one a day, I'm going to go through the map like Temporal just did, and I'm going to try to figure out what lane I should be on when the cart or when the team fight is happening in what place. And you can do that on one map a day, and you'll build out your repertoire of how to play it, what to do with your Overwatch, and that'll be great. Then you've actually got to implement it. So go ahead, implement it, spend some time implementing it, judge yourself, review every couple games, wait, am I actually taking the right lane, the right off angle when I should, hey, when should I be in bookstore versus when should I be in alley here versus when should I be here versus when should I be here. Do that. That'll be great. And then the other thing I'm going to want you to work on to upgrade your gameplay is that heal station. Occasionally, you're going to heal station your grip. When you happen to get caught in a grab, yeah, drop that heal station. That's fine. Most of the time, your heal station is to let you sustain and stay on these off angles, these powerful off angles that you are occupying at the right time. Because if you're occupying a good off angle at the right time, like when the opposing team is here, your team is here, and you're here, well, you don't want to have to give it up immediately. So having your heal station to sustain will be great. Otherwise, you take 100 damage and you go, oh, I'll sprint back to my team, and now I'm just running it up mid again. This sucks. No. We have our heal station, so we can occupy this off angle without dragging a support with us, or without immediately having to run to go get a health pack or to rejoin our team. That's what our heal station is for. And then I will give you a third thing. When you're looking at targets that aren't looking at you, when you're trying to quickly eliminate them, Helix Rocket first. Helix Rocket, then start shooting them in the head. Okay, that's 3 things. Work on them one at a time. Really spend 5 to 15% of your brain power to be focusing on learning that thing. Even if you initially start playing a little bit worse as you're focusing on it, that's fine, because then you'll start to get it, and then you'll level off and then start to get better, and then you'll go, now I'm going to focus on the next thing, and I'll get worse a little bit, and then you'll level off and you'll get better, and then you'll be getting better, and you'll start working on the next thing, and you'll get worse a bit, and then you'll level off and you'll get better, and now your new baseline is above where you started. You see how that works? That's how our learning curve sort of works when we're building our right micro habits. So even though you have to focus on them, even though you have to think about them with some percentage of your brain power while you're playing, eventually you get to the point where you don't, and you work on the next thing, and then you end up better than before. So we don't worry about our SR going down as we're learning stuff, because then we discover before we know it, if we've been doing it right, maybe we started as a, 1800 soldier, and now we're an 1875 soldier. Cool, great, and we've fixed 3 things. Now, the lane control would make more than a 75 difference by itself, but I'm just using this as an example. The Helix Rocket plus the heal station might be a 75 difference by themselves. The proper understanding of timing and lanes is probably worth 200-300 SR, but doesn't matter. Okay, that's going to work. Do I have any questions? If so, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help me out quite a bit. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, as well as see what sort of events we're planning, we have upcoming, what schedules we have, get notifications for when we're streaming, that sort of good stuff. The current event is we are planning for this week. It's looking later in the week, but we are planning for this week to do an internal scrim, and I'll do some coaching of one or both sides, and it'll be a lot of fun with the community that we've built up here. So if you guys are interested in participating in that, make sure you join the Discord if you haven't, and then go to the events planning page and react to the times or days that would work for you so that we can lock that in, finalize it. I want to make sure that we have enough people, or I want to figure out if I need to set up 2 different days or 2 different groups happening at once or whatnot. But you guys need to let me know ahead of time by reacting to that event. Okay, questions. Superlegs, he lost for mana, he dared. Yes, he did dare, I remember. Torb is so powerful in lower elos. Torb was powerful in the last meta in higher elos too. Like, being able to put some chip damage on Ball on Tracer, that was annoying, and it's not like his weapon is all that bad either. I'm going to win some Moira games and get good 1-2 VOD review, and get and get a good 1-2 VOD review. Sounds great, Gamebuster. Look forward to it. Wait, he missed a stationary target with Helix. Yeah, that happened. He's healing the dragons. Yeah, I know what he was healing. Thanks for the tips. Good summary. No problem, Meg Butler. Okay, I am going to be taking a break for now. I have other work to do, but it's been fun, and I will see you guys later. Thanks. Temporal out.